All right, we're all good, Joe. Upstairs. Smell. I had to leave the building.
It's all the way in the lobby.
Yeah, it's all the way along. I know.
The smell, paint smell, as soon as you walk in the building. Did you smell
You
it?
didn't smell it?
Wow.
Well, then you, oh, are you kidding? You smell it? You walked in.
Bad taste.
Yeah, we're waiting for you. Yeah, he said he's ready.
How come I didn't get that when I had COVID? God, I'm just, all I got was the.
It's like the 1990s.
Good evening, everyone. This is tonight's regular meeting, Wednesday, September 14th, 7 p.m. Can we all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, roll call.
Councilmember Brescher.
Here.
Councilmember Coyle.
Here.
Councilmember Harris.
Here.
Councilmember Patel.
Here.
Councilmember Patil.
Here.
Councilmember Pointer.
Present.
Councilmembership Freeman.
Present. Adequate notice?
Adequate notice of this meeting as required by the Open Public Meeting Act of 1975 has been provided by the annual notice sent to the Home News Tribune, Star Ledger Sentinel, and Desi Talk on November 25th, 2021, and posted Main Lobby Municipal Complex on that same date.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Council members, can I get an approval of the minutes for the work session August 22nd and the regular meeting August 24th?
Motion to approve the meeting minutes.
Second.
Councilmember Patil, Councilmember Harris. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carries. Thank you very much. Number 5, administrative agenda from Mayor Sam Joshi. We just have a change in term. It's going to be September 23rd for this appointment. Can I have a motion for this appointment?
Motion to approve.
Councilmember Patil, can I have a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Pointer. All in favor, say aye.
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 Nays? Motion carries. Thank you very much. Council President remarks. I just want to do some points of light real quick here. On Friday, September 16th, the Palmaya Day will be at 10 a.m. at the Monument Circle. And the council meeting will be combined on Wednesday, September 28th at 6 p.m. The zoning board appeal will be held on Wednesday, October 12th at the combined meeting. Also, we want to wish everybody a happy Rosh Hashanah, which begins September 25th. Also, in addition to that, on October 19th, we have a hearing for the master plan. October 19th, a hearing for the master plan in the council chambers. What time is that, Joey? 6 p.m.? At 7 p.m. Okay, for unfinished business, Madam Clerk?
Ordinance amending Chapter 34 Stormwater Pollution Prevention Plan, subsection 34-8, Stormwater Control.
Open this up to the public. Any comments? Seeing none, can I motion to close the public portion?
Motion to close the public portion.
Councilmember Patil, can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Any nays? Motion carries to close the public portion. Can I have a motion to adopt?
Motion to adopt.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Madam Clerk, roll call.
Councilmember Brescher.
Yes.
Councilmember Harris.
Yes.
Councilmember Patel. Yes. Councilmember Patil.
Yes.
Councilmember Poyer.
Yes.
Councilmember Ship Freeman.
Yes.
Council President Coyle.
Yes. Madam Clerk, read ordinance.
Ordinance amending Chapter 14, Building and Construction, subsection 14-2, Site Improvement Permit.
I'd like to open this up to the public for any questions or comments. Seeing none, can I have a motion to close the public portion?
Motion to close?
Councilmember Harris, Councilmember Patel.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carries. A motion to adopt.
Motion to adopt?
Harris, can I have a second?
Second.
Any council comments? Madam Clerk, roll call.
Councilmember Brescher.
Yes.
Councilmember Harris.
Yes.
Councilmember Patel. Yes. Councilmember Patil.
Yes.
Councilmember Pointer.
Yes.
Councilmember Ship Freeman.
Yes.
Council President Coyle.
Yes. Madam Clerk, read ordinance.
Ordinance amending Chapter 39, Land Use, subsection 39-3, Words and Terms Defined of the Code.
Can you open this up to the public for any questions or comments? Seeing none, can I have a motion to close the public portion?
Motion to close the public
Councilman
portion.
Patil, can I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Patel. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any nays? Motion carries. Can I have a motion to adopt?
Motion to adopt.
Councilman Patil?
Second?
Second, Councilmember Harris. Any council comments? Madam Clerk, roll call.
Councilmember Brescher.
Yes.
Councilmember Harris.
Yes.
Councilmember Patel.
Yes.
Councilmember Patil.
Yes.
Councilmember Pointer.
Yes.
Councilmember Ship Freeman.
Yes.
Council President Coyle.
Yes. Madam Clerk, read ordinance.
Ordinance amending Chapter 37 zoning, subsection 37-64.4, zoning permit fees.
Open this up to the public for any questions or comments. Seeing none, can I have a motion to close the public portion?
Motion to close?
Councilmember Harris, can I have a second?
Second?
Councilmember Vice President. Motion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carries. Motion to adopt.
Motion to adopt.
Councilmember Patel. And
Second.
Second, Councilmember Patel? Was that Pointer? Pointer? Okay.
Councilmember Brescher.
Council comments, none? Okay, roll call.
Councilmember Brescher.
Yes.
Councilmember Harris.
Yes.
Councilmember Patel.
Yes.
Councilmember Patil.
Yes.
Councilmember Pointer.
Yes.
Councilmember Ship Freeman.
Yes.
Council President Coyle.
Yes. Madam Clerk, read ordinance.
Ordinance amending Chapter 11, General Licensing and Business Regulations, subsection 11-7, Amusement Park.
Let's open up to the public for any questions or comments. Seeing none, a motion to close the public portion.
Motion to close the public
Have
portion?
a second?
Second?
Mr. President,
Okay, Councilman-
I think someone raised the hand in the audience.
I'm sorry, back up here. Okay. I didn't close the public portion yet, so. Anyone from the public want to make comments on this ordinance?
I'm against this ordinance. Create another amusement park. It's just going to be another distraction. We should be using this. They could be growing marijuana on that property and giving people in the township jobs. We could be saving a lot of money. They'd rather not do that.
Thank you for your comments. Anybody else from the public? Seeing none, can I have a motion to close the public portion?
Motion to close the public portion.
Teal, can I have a second?
Second?
Councilmember Joseph Freeman. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carries. Can I have a motion to adopt?
Motion to adopt?
Okay, so I have Councilmember Harris, and I have a second? Second, Councilmember Patel. Madam Clerk, roll call. Oh, council comments, I'm sorry. Hearing none, Madam Clerk, roll call.
Councilmember Brescher.
Yes.
Councilmember Harris.
Yes.
Councilmember Patel. Yes. Councilmember Patil.
Yes.
Councilmember Pointer.
Yes.
Councilmember Ship Freeman.
Yes.
Council President Coyle.
Yes. Number 8, new business, proposed ordinance, public hearing set down for Wednesday, September 28th. Clerk, read ordinance.
Ordinance established the not-to-exceed salary for the municipal council.
Can I have a motion to introduce?
I move this ordinance be passed on first reading, published according to law for further consideration and public hearing set down for September 28th.
Can I have a second? Second for Councilman Patel. Council comments? Hearing none, roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilmember Brescher.
Yes.
Councilmember Harris.
Yes.
Councilmember Patel. Yes. Councilmember Patil.
Yes for introduction.
Councilmember Pointer.
Yes to introduction.
Councilmember Ship Freeman.
Yes.
Council President Coyle.
Yes. Ordinance establishing not to exceed salaries for the municipal council. Madam Clerk, read ordinance.
Ordinance establishing the not-to-exceed salaries of certain officers, department heads, and employees of the township.
Can I have a motion to introduce?
Council President,
Yes.
I move this ordinance be passed on first reading, published according to law for further consideration and public hearing set down for Wednesday, September 28th.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Second, Councilman Harris. Council comments? Madam Clerk, roll call.
Councilmember Brescher.
Yes.
Councilmember Harris.
Yes.
Councilmember Patel. Yes. Councilmember Patil.
Yes for introduction.
Councilmember Pointer.
Yes to introduction.
Councilmember Ship Freeman.
Yes.
Council President Coyle.
Yes. Madam Clerk, read ordinance.
An ordinance amending Chapter 39 Land Use, subsection 39-12.23, Schedule of Escrow Deposit Fees of the Code of the Township.
Have a motion to introduce.
Council President,
Yes.
I move this ordinance be passed on first reading, published according to law for further consideration and public hearing set down for September 28, 2022.
Thank you, Councilman Patil. Can I have a second?
Second.
Second, Councilman Harris. Any council comments? Hearing none, roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilmember Brescher.
Yes.
Councilmember Harris.
Yes.
Councilmember Patel. Yes. Councilmember Patil.
Yes.
Councilmember Pointer.
Introduction.
Councilmember Ship Freeman.
Yes.
Council President Coyle.
Yes.
Yeah, right. That was the escrow. Next, an ordinance amending Chapter 39 Land Use, subsection 39-1218, Schedule of Application Fees of the Code of the Township.
Introduce.
Council President,
Yes.
I move this ordinance to be passed on first reading, published according to law for further consideration and public hearing set down for Wednesday, September 28th.
Thank you, Councilmember Harris. Can I have a second?
Seconded.
Councilmember Patil. Any council comments? Hearing none, roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilmember Brescher.
Yes.
Councilmember Harris.
Yes.
Councilmember Patel. Yes. Councilmember Patil.
Yes for introduction.
Councilmember Pointer.
Yes to introduction.
Councilmember Ship Freeman.
Yes.
Council President Coyle.
Yes.
Last one. Okay, this is a long one.
Madam Clerk, read ordinance.
An ordinance by the mayor and council amending the Township of Edison Code of Ordinances to repeal Chapter 33 Flood Damage Prevention and Protection, to adopt a new Chapter 33 Floodplain Management Regulations, to adopt flood hazard maps, to design a floodplain administrator, and providing for severity and effective date.
Do you have a motion to introduce?
I move this ordinance to be passed on first reading, published according to law for further consideration and public hearing set down on September
28th.
28, 2022. The ordinance by the Mayor's Council amending the Township of Edison Code of Ordinance to repeal Chapter 33, Flood Damage Prevention and Protection, to adopt new Chapter 33, Floodplain Management Regulation, to adopt flood hazard maps, designate floodplain administrator, and providing for severability and effective date.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Council Vice President Ship Freeman. Any council comments? Madam Clerk, roll call.
Councilmember Brescher.
Yes.
Councilmember Harris.
Yes.
Councilmember Patel.
Yes.
Councilmember Patil.
Yes for introduction.
Councilmember Pointer.
Yes to introduction.
Councilmember Ship Freeman,
Yes.
Council President Coyle.
Yes. Madam Clerk, did we get everything in order?
Okay.
Deputy Clerk, did we get everything in order?
Now we're on to open public.
Okay, you're going to open up? Okay. Before I continue, I want to add a communication from Ralph Bucci to the agenda. Everybody received the communication? Okay. Any members have not?
I did.
Okay, everybody's received it? Okay. I don't think Joyce Ship has gotten it. Do we have, she has a copy on her desk? It's right on your desk.
Yeah, I closed the copy.
Okay. Is there anything else we're adding? We're good? Nothing else? That's it. Comments? We're going to open up the public for the resolutions only. Anyone like to speak on the resolutions only? Seeing none, can I have a motion to, okay. Lori Jordan. Yes. Oh, yeah, only on the resolutions.
Not the ordinances.
Your proposed resolutions.
Hi, I'm Lori Jordan at 10 Golf Road.
You recognize you have the floor.
I just wanted to ask a couple questions on a few of these things. So on the one where it says pricing for furniture and accessories in the amount of $147,000, what is that for? Or where is that furniture going?
The BA told us for various departments.
Various departments? That's a lot of money. And so that in the desk chair, it's like $162,000 for furniture. When more and more people are working from home, it just seems like a heck of a lot of furniture.
I don't think any of us are working from home.
No?
I mean, I think you have a good point. What I didn't see in there was chairs for the council.
Got 80 of them right here. Also, and these are just questions, right? So I see like the next one where it's $135,000 for Diwali lighting. Can that be elaborated on?
It's the Diwali lighting, plus it's also the the holiday market. So it's two, it's not just one, it's two.
Where is the holiday market? I don't even know where that is.
And from what we're told, they were going to provide us with a list of donations, which we've told exceeded the cost. So this should be a full trade, and there'll be resolutions on the council accepting those donations when they're put forth.
So companies donate to, like, sponsor the
Yes,
holiday lights?
yes. We still have to pay for it, but they're
The
sponsoring
donations might
us.
cover it?
Yes.
And this ACE irrigation, Royal Irrigation, do we get bids on that? Or is that like a preferred vendor?
Lori?
No, we bid out that
Is
service.
it a local company, I hope?
I can look at the local, I don't think they're in New Jersey, but they're not local to Edison. But we bid it out and they were the low bid.
Councilperson, if I could just add, when we go with the lowest responsible bidder, we cannot take into account the fact that they are local or not.
No,
We have to
not
go with
at
the
all.
lowest price
That's
available.
not something that we can do. If they meet all the requirements of our specifications, we can't pick what location they're at.
Oh, really? What a shame.
We can't do that.
Okay. I'm just going to make a comment about the holiday lights in general, like decor, and I'm going to say the same thing about the plantings in Amboy Avenue, which is $27,000.
It's incorrect. It's not for Amboy Avenue. It's for various locations, not just
Various
Amboy Avenue.
locations. I'm not picking on Amboy Avenue. I shop down there all the time.
It's our downtown.
Just the decor and lighting and flowers, that's all great. You know what I'd love to see a line item as is a new hire, a public advocate new hire for Edison. That would put a smile on a lot of people's faces. I'm as cheery a person for lights and flowers too, but I feel like a lot of the residents in Edison are doing the work of public advocate. That I spend too much time on Facebook Edison residents and neighbors and Charlie Brown's and Silver Lake, all of that. So many people ask questions. How do I get this done? Where do I do that? Serious, important questions about zoning and planning and flood and what, and we're answering it. And that's all well and good, but some of this stuff is serious. And if there's ever a brain drain, if Nick moves or Ron Loeffler moves, Edison's is a lot of Edison residents are in tough shape because they provide a lot of information to the residents with lots of questions, serious homeowner, zoning, neighborhood questions. So someday I would love to see a new hire and less Christmas lights and flowers and more service for the residents that have important questions. Because right now, it's kind of a free-for-all, and I've sent lots of emails that have never gotten responded to from various, nobody, not addressing the council, just in general, and I think that's a shame. So my message is, can we think about public advocacy? That's been brought up over the months and never has zero traction, because right now the residents are doing the work of what the public advocate would be doing.
You raise a good point. Thank you. Is anybody else from the public that have any comments? Sure, please.
Diamond, 74 Calvert.
You recognize you have the floor.
I heard the BA's explanation of 575, the 135,000, but I'm still confused. What's 576, the $19,000 sign or something?
From understand, the mayor administration is proposing a giant light bulb. Is that correct, Laura? Do you have an answer to that?
Yes, it's separate from, it's a completely separate contract from that. It's a Edison light bulb that's lit up that they will take to different events.
And where will that go? Will that be permanent somewhere?
No, well, it'll be something that they can move to different events, like different events that the, administration in the township has, that it'll be, like the holiday lights that they have a stand and stuff like that. It'll be like that, lit up like that, but it'll be an Edison light bulb. And it says Edison Township on it.
And do you have any idea how big it is?
I can look at that. I know that it's in here. Let me see if I have the information with me. If not, I'll get it back to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I believe it's 12 by 13.
Yeah, I know I have it. I just don't remember off the top of my head.
12 by 13?
What's the rental number?
I think it's 576.
576.
Is it on a tow-along trailer if it's that big?
It's 12 by 13.
12 feet or 12 inches?
12 feet wide and 13 feet wide and 12 foot high.
So again, is it mounted on a trailer and the trailer just gets hitched and dragged around town?
Well, we do have trailers ourselves, so I assume they're just giving us the light itself.
Thank you.
You raise a good point. Okay, any other questions or comments? Sure, please come up.
Nick Fagan, 42 Edgewood Circle.
You recognize you have the floor.
So Lori said it best, Mr. Chair, but I would like to also reiterate, I'd ask that one of you pull 594 and 595 for these mums. I don't know, I haven't lived in Edison very long, but I've also been told that it's been $40,000 in the past, and this is actually a good thing that it's less. I don't know if that's true or not, but $27,000 for mums seems excessive to me. So I would ask for you, in a time where we're dealing with inflationary spending and an economy that's very uncertain and people's jobs that are uncertain, that you cut back on the mums. Maybe $5,000 for mums for all the town signs all around. But for 3,500 mums in a concentrated area, from what I understand, just does not seem like a wise expense for the town at this point. So I would just ask for you, one of you, to pull it and please maybe modify it and reduce it even way further. Thank you.
Yeah. And just so you know, Mr. Fagan, we are pulling the installation, so we're going to be pulling the installation, it'll
Oh.
just be the purchase now.
The 19.
Yeah.
Okay, so 595.
This is our seventh season buying flowers.
Yeah,
Just so you know.
it's my first year here, and I don't think it's a wise expense.
And I disagree with you, and I just want to tell you why.
Fair enough.
Right?
Thank you.
You know, when you look at a downtown becoming vibrant, you need certain things to escalate that opportunity. Leaving it doom and gloom does not help a downtown. Every downtown has some type of, visual effect, visual opportunity. And it's consistent throughout the state. I don't think it's a terrible thing to invest in a downtown at all. And it's happening. So, I mean, and it's Edison. We're the fifth largest municipality in the state of New Jersey. Do you think our downtown should look doom and gloom? You tell me. I mean,
Mr. President, I think the downtown of Edison is Metuchen, frankly.
okay, well, I disagree with you. I think Edison residents would think we have a downtown, and it's been serving the town for close to 70 years at this time. Until we have another one, which I'm sure we will, and there'll be a lot happening on 27. Hopefully one day, maybe there'll be a town center. I don't have that answer. But there was a time where the Ford plant was going to be the new downtown.
Yeah,
Didn't happen.
yeah.
I'm 26 years following Amboy Avenue. It's a great opportunity. I hope you can see another side to it.
Yeah.
And I'll certainly take a walk with you and look into it together. But if you want to be involved in the beautification committee, you certainly can.
I appreciate you, and thank you for the explanation. And yeah, it's a darn shame that the Ford plant did not turn into the new municipal complex like it was planned to be, right? At one time and envisioned to be, and that all fell apart, right? And so now it's this hodgepodge of commercial development. So thank you
It's
for
a
the
broken window
explanation.
theory, but it's working.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks again.
Thank you.
But we did pull the installation, so that's about 9,000, I think. Thank you. Sure, Mr. Christo.
I came for you not to give yourself a pay raise, but it's not on the resolution yet.
Would you state your name and address, please, for the record?
Christo, Edison, New Jersey. Am I recognized?
Yes, you're recognized.
Okay, I'm against R572. $150,000, I'll say $150,000. R73, I'm against that. $15,000 for desk chairs. I want to know, through the chair to Councilman Brescher, why don't we just buy it all in one place? Maybe get a discount. I mean, I remember last time June Choi redecorated, 2008, and all the township employees, all the police were saying, hey, he's wasting money, he's redecorating, what is he, a homosexual? These aren't my words, these are their words. What happens from 2008 until now that we have to buy even more furniture?
Council President?
You want to ask? Sure, you can answer this question.
You know, I'll tell you, last year I questioned chairs. We had the same type of thing. Police department, in fact. And when I went, the business administrator took me around to the different departments. And what I did see in the police department was, I don't know if they were yellow or gold chairs. And I questioned who picked the yellow or gold chairs. It turned out those chairs were original to the building when the building was first built. That was the original furniture. So I did acknowledge that certain furniture in the town is actually pretty old. Some of it is, fairly new. I know we have chairs here. I don't even think they match. So you need furniture. It's probably the best I can say. And I believe that they bid it out, and it goes through like a price co-op type thing.
Yes, it's through the co-op.
I agree we need furniture. I just don't agree with every time there's a new administration throwing away the furniture we do have just to buy some new furniture. It's disgusting. For $135,000 for the lighting, R575, I mean, we don't need these lights. We absolutely don't need these lights. We're going to spend even more money for this. $20,000. How much time do I have left, Marlena?
3 minutes.
For 576, $20,000. for this stupid light bulb sign. Every single one of our police officers don't even have tasers yet, but we're wasting all this money on this crap. Our police should have non-lethal equipment, every single. They should have their SWAT shield. They should have the taser, but you're wasting it for a stupid light bulb. It's not even a light bulb, it doesn't work, it's just And what's mums? $20,000 for mums. What is that? Would someone like to?
Mr. President?
Sure.
Yeah. You're asking what mums are?
Yeah,
It's a fall flower. It's pretty much kind of the official flower of fall.
So Councilman Joe's wasting money on flowers again? I don't agree we need flowers for the downtown. Are you saying our downtown looks disgusting, Councilman Coyle?
I think.
That we need to put a few
When you're
flowers?
finished, I'll comment. You
Because
have 3
that's what you were
minutes.
saying. So we can't have the downtown doom and gloom. Do you think that our downtown looks disgusting?
What I mean is the part of every downtown is beautification. There's visual effects for every downtown. This is one component that government does in downtowns. And if you think about the mental health of people being home in COVID, walking through a downtown and having a good visual effect is important. If you don't feel that way, it's fine. You have your opinion. But I think by popularity, people want to see a downtown that's vibrant.
The downtown
we have
doesn't, even after you put the flowers, it still looks
In
the same, though.
1995, we designed a downtown with 120 flower beds and 50 hanging baskets. And for 20 years, we didn't do anything. In the last 7 seasons, we've done something. Residents feel it's a great idea. I'm sorry you don't.
So we're buying flowers instead of tasers and shields.
You're wrong about that. The
I'm
department has
not
plenty
wrong
of
about that
tasers.
because the police still,
Okay,
some
well,
of them do, some of them have
You
tasers,
show me
they're
a
not all equipped.
correspondent that they don't have enough, and then we'll discuss that then. But this time, your information is correct.
It's incorrect that we're wasting money, $20,000 to buy
You
flowers.
believe we're wasting money.
I believe. Well, I agree, it's my opinion, but,
You have any other questions?
is my time up yet?
1 minute.
I still got 1 minute for my time, Councilman Coyle. So, yeah, I'm very disgusted in that. I'm very disgusted in all this. It was at my clock.
Yeah, that's it. Your time is up.
My time's up, Marlena?
45 seconds.
55 seconds?
42 seconds.
42 seconds? Okay. Would you like to put me on the beautification committee so I can stop all the money wasting that you guys are doing? So I can air
We'll
my
look into that.
grievances? You'll look into that?
Absolutely.
You won't look into it.
Put your application in.
You've been telling me since the beginning of the year. So help me out here, because I can't find on the resolution for the human relations picks. It's not on there because you're not voting on it, right? The mayor just throws them in?
Okay, thank you. Mr. Sweeney?
Hello, good evening. Thanks for hearing me.
How are you?
Rich Sweeney,
record-
313 Sutton's Lane.
I recognize you have the floor.
Thank you, sir. I disagree with a lot of the gentleman before me spoke. Edison is a very nice place, but when you have 322 miles of roads and whatever, I think Edison's beautiful. I believe in a downtown because I've been around town, and downtown, whether it's New Brunswick or Perth Amboy or wherever, you do need beautification in one part of your town for a downtown. As far as the mums, do the bulbs come back every year?
We replanted them in parks, and they do come back.
What parks do you plant them in?
In various parks. We have close to 27.
Well, that's nice. The tulips too, you donate those?
Yes,
too?
they're all being repurposed in October.
Right. I'm in total agreement with the young lady that was up here in the yellow blouse. I don't know her. I don't know her name. But I'm in total agreement with some of the advocates that come up here and speak, but never, never dim the lights on the menorah or the Christmas tree. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Diamond. Yes, sir, please come up. And just before you can, it's on the sorry, you can come up. It's on the resolutions only. If you have anything else that's out, okay, so as long as you know. And there's another point, you can speak on the public as well. Yeah, your name and address, please.
Good evening. My name is Anwar Sayed, 18 Dogwood Drive, Edison.
You recognize you have the floor.
Thank you. Thank you, Council. I just kind of agree with some of the folks here. I'm just have a little concern, maybe need more explanation on 572, 575, and 579. 572, I kind of agree with what folks are saying. Maybe without knowing any details, I do seem that the furniture cost of seems to be a little excessive to me. Maybe we need to see somewhat the detailed plan if it is really needed. I do understand the concerns. The beautification of the Edison is very important as a community. But I think as a resident, I also think that we all should think through as a value addition to the Edison. So I do kind of agree with some of the folks that talks about the advocates, especially the people who don't know how to reach. I think that will actually bring the great voice to the Edison. I think that will great value addition as well. On 575, I'm not sure. I know in some of the private sectors, the way we celebrate, I know where I work for, maybe just as an inclusive perspective, instead of saying Diwali, Christmas, or anything specific, Rosh Hashanah, whatever it is, right? Eid, maybe we can adopt a generic theme towards the end of the year, which New Year is celebrated by everyone. Just my opinion. And then a 579, actually I see, again, without knowing any details, what I see seems a little bit excessive to me. Almost $175,000 for purchase of the 4 new Chevy Tahoe. Does it really need a Tahoe? Can we go with something smaller? Not sure what's the need, again. Maybe we could get it done in $80,000 instead of $175,000. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. You raised a good point. Any other questions or comments on the resolutions only? Seeing none, can I have a motion to close the public portion of the resolutions?
Motion to close the public portion
Councilor
of the
Patil, can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Hearing none, the public portion is closed on resolutions only. So, Madam Clerk, we're going to pull the installation on here, which is,
595?
I think it's
595.
595?
595.
That's coming off the agenda,
Yeah, it's
right?
coming to the agenda. Okay, council members, anybody would like to pull anything from the agenda? From my right, Councilman Brescher.
Yes, 575 and 576.
Okay, anything else, Councilman Brescher?
That's it.
Councilmember Harris. Can you be pulled?
None, sir.
None, sir. Councilmember Porter?
None, sir.
Councilmember Patil?
None, sir.
Councilmember Patel?
None, sir.
Council Vice President Troy Ship?
No.
Okay. Can we have a motion to adopt excluding 575 and 576 and 595? 595 is off, just for record. Can I have a motion to adopt?
Motion to adopt.
Councilman Patil, can I have a second?
Second.
Councilman Patel? Madam Clerk, roll call.
Councilmember Brescher.
Yes.
Councilmember Harris.
Yes.
Councilmember Patel.
Yes.
Councilmember Patil.
Yes.
Councilmember Pointer.
Yes.
Councilmember Ship Freeman.
Yes.
Council President Coyle.
Yes. Councilmember Brescher, 570, do you want to do 575 and 576 together?
No.
Okay, 575, Councilman Brescher.
Yes. I questioned this, and the BA sent us documents that shows that this is paid for through donations, which is really a remarkable thing. The reason why I questioned this was early on I had a conversation with Mr. Ray Alcantara, and he brought up that he was looking. He loved the idea of like a peddler's village, something like you have in New York with Bryant Park. Now there they have ice skating, and then they have all these little vendors, and it was a nice thing. And, I told him that that's a nice thing, but it might be better for Edison if there was a way for us to have like a festival of lights that go from like Diwali through Thanksgiving and Christmas, where it's like a little peddler's village type thing set up. They could change the theme through the months, you know, as it goes, but we would probably be the only place in New Jersey that would have that. So the reason why I brought it up at that meeting was when I seen this just for the one holiday, you know, I was wondering if we were going to do this for all the holidays. So, you know, if that was something that the administration was kind of looking at. And then I did see that it was also for Christmas, so I just hope that, you know, we're taking into account, you know, all the holidays that we have in between there. And that's all. I just wanted to
Yeah,
say that. That's why
I think you
brought
raised a
that.
good point, Councilman Brescher, and I think as this folds together, there'll be more requests, and I'm sure we'll build on it from here, but it's certainly a new beginning.
And, right, to me, there's a quality of life thing. I'm big on that, so,
So I got a motion from you to adopt.
yes.
Okay. can I have
Council
a second?
President,
I'm sorry.
can I make a-
Council comments, I'm sorry.
I fully
sorry.
agree with Councilman Brescher's sentiment here. We should be all inclusive. Again, this is not just about 1 or 2 holidays, but I agree, you know, we have several festivals throughout the year. All the different communities celebrate that, and hopefully we can accommodate all those communities celebrating those events. So hopefully that we'll see some sort of a resolution to have that additional accommodation. And again, it's a wonderful thing that we have the donations to purchase these lights. There are enough, and hopefully this will encourage other the business people to come forward and contribute towards the cause of beautifying Edison, celebrating all the holidays with all inclusion. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Councilman Patil. Can I have a motion to adopt? Councilman Brescher, can I have a second?
Second.
Council Vice President Harris. Madam Clerk, roll call.
It's Chip Freeman.
Council Vice President
I know
Chip-
we look alike.
I
but
didn't
it's
say
Chip
that.
Freeman.
Council Vice President Chip Freeman, I'm sorry. Yeah,
Councilmember Brescher.
Yes.
Councilmember Harris.
Yes.
Councilmember Patel.
Yes.
Councilmember Patil.
Yes.
Councilmember Pointer.
Yes.
Councilmember Ship Freeman.
Yes.
Council President Coyle.
yes. Councilmember Brescher, 576.
Yes. You know, having the sign type of thing, I don't have an issue with. The issue that I did have was that it was LED. And the reason why I say that is Edison is named after Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison didn't invent the LED light. Thomas Edison invented the incandescent light. And there still are incandescent. I mean, it would be nice and traditional, I think, if we went with a traditional incandescent light. I just wanted to make that as a statement.
I think you raise a good point, but the shape of this is incandescent.
The shape of the bulb, right?
Shape of this is
and it's-
incandescent.
And it's done in LED.
And our environmental commission preferred LEDs. I don't, it's the wave of the future. Any other comments, Mr. Brescher?
That's it, sir.
Okay. Can I have a motion to adopt, Councilman Brescher?
So moved.
Okay, so can I have a second?
Seconded.
Councilman Patil, Madam Clerk, roll call.
Councilmember Brescher.
Yes.
Councilmember Harris.
Yes.
Councilmember Patel.
Yes.
Councilmember Patil.
Yes.
Councilmember Pointer.
Yes.
Councilmember Ship Freeman.
Yes.
Council President Coyle.
Yes. Okay, and 595 was pulled.
Okay.
We don't do a motion, I usually do. Just an edit. Again, I just noted that we had the communication everyone received from Raj Bucci.
Council President? I think we need a motion to accept that communication. That's what we have done in the past. That's what we have done in the past, just letting you know.
We're told we don't need to, but we'll do a motion to accept. I have a motion to accept the communication?
Motion to accept the communication?
Yes. Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Okay, communication is in the record. Okay. We're good? Okay. Okay, we're going to move to,
We pulled 595, right?
we pulled Fund 95. That was for the installation of the flowers. Okay, we're going to, any council members, we're good? Going to open up the oral petitions remarks over to the public. We'll go by first names here. Bruce Diamond. Did you skip it? Okay. Anwar Seed, Ted, sorry, please come up. You're welcome to comment on anything you like, including the resolutions. It's open forum for you.
Thank you, Council.
Thank you.
Good evening, Council. My name is Anwar Syed again, 18 Dogwood Drive, Edison.
You have the floor.
Thank you. Just have a few comments. So just to follow up from our last meeting on August 24th, I thank the council for condemning the bulldozer incident, so I really thank you, all of you. Second one, and then I'm really kind of pleased, even the issue kind of condemned by the state level by the Senator Cory Booker and the Senator Menendez, so I appreciate that. Second one is, I know in that part of the discussion, we kind of, at least I was hearing that we would have some type of parade review process in place. I'm not sure, are we still in process or just maybe wait for after the comments? Just want to know status update on that. I also recall we were planning to, or at least having an idea about forming a DE&I committee for regarding any of those parades to understand what type of parades are happening. Is the input from all the different communities, or is this good, or what are the better ideas as evaluation for the community? It's just general comment. Maybe it's just me. I see some of the street names. When I go, it's the beginning of the street has both names in the intersection. But when I go down, further down, I only see one street name. I'm confused, like where I'm at. So I don't know, am I making sense here? When I drive, the street names, I cannot see both street names on most of the streets. There is only one street name listed. The one I am on the street, I don't know what street name that is. Am I making?
You want to cross.
I want
You want a crossover of both street names on every corner.
Yeah, especially when I'm looking at this house. You know what? I like this house. Maybe we need to buy this house or something. I have no idea what that street name is.
Sure.
I really have to kind of go back, or maybe at the end of it. It's just a suggestion. It helps people, drivers, not getting distracted. Maybe if we find some savings in the previous resolutions, maybe that we can adapt, that would add some value to the residents in the Edison.
We can look at that. I think it'd be quite expensive, but we definitely we'll look into it.
Thank you. And that's it. Thank you.
Okay, you raised a good point.
Council
Thank you.
President?
Yes.
Sir, do you have any exact locations where they're missing these signs, for examples?
Sure, you can come back up.
Yes, sure. In the North Edison, in the area where the Tingley Lane, and then pretty much I also see on the Oak Tree Road. I can get the exact street names when I see it. Now I can't ring a bell anymore.
That'd be great if you can just mail it to clerk.
Yep. Appreciate it.
And take your time and mail it to the clerk and.
Council President?
Yep.
Awesome. Thank you.
Sure.
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Councilman Brescher, you have the floor. You're recognized.
I was going to explain what Laura just did.
Okay, good. Well, I'm glad that there's someone as smart as you in the room.
Council President.
I just had to throw that one at you. That's just one out of 50.
Council President.
Thank you, Councilman Patil. You have the floor. You're recognized.
Yes. I think wonderful idea about these signs. I know that, throughout the town we have one sign, and that pretty much tells where you're turning. But especially the major intersections, like not where street lights are, if you have at least those cross signs will be really helpful. Otherwise, it's a big problem. Again, I'm not saying every single strict, but at least I would say, sub-major sections would be helpful.
I think some of the main ones, especially if you have a light, they will, right?
Yeah.
But not the little
Correct.
side ones.
Thank you.
All right, Laura, just for the record, we can just reach out to administration to look at our main roads and have some discussion on whether there should be two signs on the same section. Okay. All right, moving forward, anybody else for public comment? Mr. Sweeney? I'm sorry, Mr. Go ahead, Mr. Sweeney. You know something? I apologize. I skipped the Bucheskis. Would you mind yielding your time? They're on the list. I skipped them.
I have no problem. I'm in a hurry to go, you're aware.
I'm sorry, Mark or Lisa, whoever would like to come up first.
Mark Brukachevsky, 11 Alcohol Road, Edison. Good evening, Council President Coyle and fellow council members. I'd like to talk about a clarification. I was really excited when I woke Monday morning to see the milling machine making its way up my street. And that signaled to me that we're going to get a fresh top coat of pavement. That was Monday morning. Tuesday morning, I expected to see more work. Tuesday came and went. Now it's Wednesday. Wednesday's over. And so the milling on Alcohol Road looks to me like it's complete. The issue I have with that is only half the street has been milled. So I'm a little confused, and I'm hoping for a little clarification. Are they going to finish the other half of the street? Or is Alcohol Road going to have one half of new pavement and one half of very old pavement with potholes? And I don't know, I think, Lisa, whom did you call today? Could you help me? My wife called Brian Picarello. Do I have that name correct?
Yeah.
Thank you. To get an answer this morning, and we didn't receive an answer yet, so I thought I would come by this evening and ask the question.
Council Vice President?
You have the answer?
No, I mean, if it's on the paving list, to be paved, then it's going to do both sides. I just don't have that answer because I don't know.
My bad. I should clarify. This is part of the water and gas replacement by PSE&G, and so I don't think this is actually on the list for
Then we'd have to
pavement.
find out for you, because sometimes if they're just doing replacements on pipes, they will just literally do one side of the road. If they haven't done the pipe replacement, it depends on how much replacement they're doing and how much they're required to do by how much they dug up and replaced. So
Right.
sometimes they don't have to do the whole road, depending on how much they're doing. So we'll have to find that out, what the requirements were by when they got their permit to dig. They're told at that time.
Thank you for that clarification. I would like to also add, the signs stated that it's just this week. So the equipment from the contractor will probably be loaded up and taken away, and if
There was rain this week.
Right.
That we have that heavy rains. So sometimes with paving and milling, sometimes you have to stop it because of the rain for a little bit. So I'm not sure, I have no idea. I'm just telling you what happens sometimes.
To me, this is also in the quality of life situation and the beautification category as well, because you're going to have one side of the road that has potholes that haven't been addressed, and the other side is going to have fresh, nice tarmac.
We'll find out, and through
Okay.
council, I'll get that answer for you.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else?
Council President?
Sure.
I'd
Mr.
like
Brescher? Yeah, the
to-
floor, you're recognized.
I'd like to just add to that, because the prior administration and the prior engineering firm that we had, typically, if PSE&G tore up your road and they put a new gas main in, or water, whatever it is, they're required to pave the entire street. If the street was paved, I believe it was if it was paved within 5 years, they had to pave your whole road. If it was an older road, they're required to pave half the road. Now, what the township did in the past with the other engineer that we had was they worked something out with the PSE&G or the water company, whatever it was, where they would try and do your entire road. So if PSE&G tore up 100 roads and the town was gonna do 100 roads, you know, PSE&G would do 50 whole roads all at one time, and then the township would do another 50 roads. I don't know that the current administration and the current engineer are doing the same, the same type of work. And I'd like to get clarification on that to see whether we're coordinating that and we are doing whole roads still, or if we're changing the status of what we did. So it's a good question. Thank you.
Councilman Brusher, we'll look into that for you.
I'd like to just finish up by adding, I watched the milling machine travel up and down Outcourt Road 2 times to get to Elizabeth Court around the corner and do that entire court. And so Solomon and Morian are totally milled. Elizabeth Court is totally milled. Caldwell is totally milled. Outcourt Road is half milled. So I was a little confused because I was thinking, let's save the township some money, because if that road needs to be redone at some time in the future, I'm sure it will cost a lot. The machines are already out there, and if this is an oversight of some kind on PSE&Gs or somewhere on that, I don't know who to call. I tried calling PSE&G, got nowhere.
It's an administration.
And isn't it nice not for me to mention the A word? Thank you. That's Lisa.
Great job. I'm sorry, Lisa, did you want to? Lisa was next. I'm sorry, Ms. Sweeney. Both of them are on the list before you. Would you yield?
Lisa Bukachevsky, Outcourt Road.
You recognize you have the floor.
Okay, so I watched the meeting on Monday because I was unable to attend. And the point that came across that bothered me was the fact that Amazon has not been helpful in allowing the Amazon committee to walk on their side of the wall. So my question is, why is the town council attorney not getting involved? Mr. Northgrave in the past was quick to step up and help us. Can you do the same?
I mean, it's the Amazon, you know the topic.
Certainly, we'll be brought up to speed on it, and we're happy to help the township in any way under the direction of the administration, but we'll certainly get involved.
Okay, because I talked to the manager of the Amazon warehouse on a regular basis. She's probably my best friend at this point. And she told me how to go about getting the wall walked, but apparently it's not working, so.
What did she tell you?
She said that to use the same procedure that the fire department and the police department use, that there is an individual that you would talk to contact, but that she can't personally do anything because they have to get permission from everybody and their brother, the attorneys and whatnot. She can't just let you walk the wall.
Councilman Brusher, I'm sorry.
Yes, I just wanted to enlighten you. What we did was, so we reached out to our fire department. They gave us a contact. The VA gave us a contact. We contacted that person. After a couple weeks, they finally called back. Or actually, he picked up his phone, is what he did. And what he stated was he is no longer in charge of this area or this facility, and he is passing that along to the new person that's in charge. And that was, I guess, about 2.5 weeks ago or so. And since then, I've tried to get him back, but maybe I'm blocked at this point. So I have no contact. I have no way to get a hold of anybody at Amazon for us to set up that walkthrough.
See what we can do.
I agree with you. The process is moving slower than in the past.
Yeah.
And I just, in credit to the administration, they're 9 months in, they're not familiar with how to aggressively attack Amazon. I'm quite certain our mayor is not happy with what's happening. I will look into it with the Chief of Staff, Bob Deal, and we'll make a note to follow up to get into location. I know Councilman Brusher is on it as well, so I'll ask to make sure he gives it a push this week, and I'll ask for a correspondent from them.
Okay, thanks.
But I'm sorry what you're going through, and I think your persistent work is something's gonna come from it. And you've been very nice about it. Mr. Sweeney, you're next.
Rich Sweeney, 313 Sutton's Lane. I just wish I was I always say to myself, I wish I was at the negotiating table with PSE&G. I would have made them go curb to curb. A lot of these half roads that people talk about, PSE&G did half, and the township, I guess, responsible for the other half. I mean, that's almost like grabbing the toilet paper and not doing you know what. But anyway, what else would I say? The main reason I'm here tonight is Amazon. What's the story with Amazon as far as vehicles up and down a residential area? And even after they all gas up between shifts, it's like a convoy. I'd like some type of an answer tonight because I was here for 2 meetings already about this. They got to respect the residents of this town. I mean, the downtown was going to be the old Ford site, but Harts Mountain got that. That's Harts Mountain's town now, but something needs to be done with Amazon. I'm not getting any answers. This is the
come
third
up
meeting.
a few times.
I'm not
that's
getting
great.
one answer so far.
I will
I
have
wish I can get one.
I will have Marlena reach out to the chief to see if we can get him on the phone. And we'll have some
It's not
discussion.
just about me.
No,
It's
you
about
made
the
this-
whole neighborhood.
If they're coming up Sutton's Lanes, it's a problem.
Do you
Part of the
want me to go
resolution
in
is
the
not to come
neighborhood
up
and
the
get
road.
signatures? I could do that, but
I think-
I'm up here, as a spokesperson for the neighborhood.
what you're
If
asking
you want
for
me
is
to
to
get
have-
a petition going
have patrol in
against
that.
Amazon, I will, because I'm not getting any answers. They're very disrespectful to the residents of this town, not only on their side of town, but on my side of town as well. And nothing's being done. I would like to ask the mayor and administration to set up a meeting and speak with somebody that's in charge. That's in charge of this place. I mean, the reason they're going to use an excuse that they won't let them walk on their side of the wall for insurance purposes, and all it's going to cost is a lawsuit and attorney money and bounces back and forth like a Super Bowl. I mean, that's what they're going to use, that you can't walk on their side of the wall. I mean, is this Rahway State Prison? I mean, come on. I want answers about Amazon. I've had it, I don't want to tell you why I have brown eyes up to here, because I've had it with Amazon.
Councilman Brescher, will you add that to your committee, and tomorrow we'll speak to the administration?
Yes, Council President, I did see a document that said that Amazon isn't allowed to make a turn, which would head down.
I know for a fact there is a document. I know somebody on that council has the document on email, but nothing's being said.
Right, so you know
Nothing's
what?
being said. I know it is. I'm not mentioning the name, but they know who it is.
Right, we should actually have our traffic enforcement unit up there, like now. You know what I mean? He has come to a few meetings. A resident did
For over
find-
25 years, ex-Bob Deal was here before his rookie year.
But the residents did point out that there is no turning there. That was part of the agreement. I don't know if there's not a sign there or why they keep on turning. But, right, our traffic
There wasn't a sign, but there's a sign on 27 by Derby's, no tractor trailer, no trailers.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we
But-
should really have enforcement there.
So, Mr. Sweeney, real quick, there
You know, one of the other issues too is.
Are you gonna let me speak?
Have you
or
been
no?
around John Marshall School in the morning? I'm there every day.
No, I
And
know.
I can't get out of my driveway.
Is it?
And for these vans to come in that as well is another problem.
Is it no trucks at all, or is it just
Trucks come down, but I don't know if it's MapQuest that's not telling them the height of the bridge.
I will reach out to the
You know?
chief to see if we can get some
If-
patrol
if
there.
Maybe it's MapQuest not telling the truck drivers on their dashboard about the height of the railroad bridge. And that's part of the problem. Then they go down, they turn around, they rip down wires, whatever. But Amazon is out of hand in this town, and somebody's got to control them. Nobody's acted like these actors acted. Nobody. I mean, I've heard so much at these meetings in the last, since they came to town, since they knocked down Westinghouse. And nothing's being done. Somebody's got to take the bull by the horns and pull his tail. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sweeney. In the back, gentleman in the black shirt in the back. I'm sorry.
Chris Rose, 79 Wooding Avenue.
You recognize you have the floor.
Did it. My 18-year residence here. Thanks for allowing me to speak.
Welcome.
The reason why I'm here is mainly because we need to slow traffic down. So what of my goal is to basically request the calming, the speed feedback sign, the solar signs. Not
Which
the-
street?
A lot of streets.
Okay.
So we'd have to kind of figure that out logistically. I can just point out, say, Old Post to Vineyard, for example. We have a lot of new development, which is great, but we have a lot of traffic flowing in and out. We need to just slow folks down. Another thing is my children, they do go to the ShopRite shopping center. So they have to cross, the crosswalk needs to be painted or needs to be highlighted so folks can cross and people can slow down to respect pedestrians.
Okay.
crossing. So I think 25 feedback speedometer signs are roughly between 115 to maybe 150. I'm not sure if that includes the cost of installation. So maybe that could be considered in your budget. So that's around roughly 25 feedback signs. Speedometer feedback signs.
There's not enough, you'd like to have more on the block?
I'm sorry?
There's not enough on Old Post Road? You're requesting some more?
Those are static signs. I'm talking the speedometer feedback sign. So as you drive, it's actually.
It says it on the sign.
Yeah, it actually tells
I know the administration, that's something, public safety, Joyce,
I was going to tell you, if you send the information over to the traffic division, they will give you feedback. They have done studies for different other people have reported their streets about the speeding and stuff. Well, even if I go through Metuchen, if the signs and if all the stuff is there, there's just some people that speed through parking lots. They speed. They just have no respect for the law. So we'll just tell the truth about that. And with the crosswalks, I would make it my business and make sure that those are some things that they will take care of. But if you have a specific street that has a 25-mile zone on it and people are abusing that, just let me know the name of the street and everything, and I'll have the sergeant for the traffic division, I'll have her go out and get some information on it for you.
All right, awesome. So just email you, Joyce?
Yes. Email me and tell me the street and the location, because I don't know that people are going to put a whole bunch more signs up because people don't read nowadays. I don't know why. I don't know if they're going to put a whole.
Well, the light,
Yeah.
the sign will be flashing, so it's giving you the feedback in real time, right? So if you're
All right.
going over 30, 25 miles an hour, it's going to let you know. I mean, look, a lot of towns, they're progressive. Our town, we have money. Can't tell me we don't have any money. We look like we have money, right? So let's really, really look like we have money, especially even in the development. We need to slow these folks down.
Sir, I would tell you that we have discussed this even with the chief of police.
Yeah.
We have
Oh, so
been
you're on top of
discussing. We have, not the chief, the deputy chief, Bob Dudash. We have been discussing the signage, and we have been discussing for our children to get blinking lights like they have in other towns to go across. So don't think we have been talking about this and moving forward on this, and some of our roads are county roads, but people don't understand that Edison is not responsible for them, but the county is responsible for them. But I'm sure from talking and being in that particular meeting, because Councilman Brescher can also tell you that too. That's the main thing we talk about, is our children crossing streets safely and getting special blinking lights like other progressive towns have.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. So that's
Yes,
great.
yeah, we're working on it.
All right. 'Cause
Thank
I know
you.
son who-
Laura, would you note for the administration of the crosswalk to have that possibly repainted near the ShopRite? And we'll check with the chief if we can have additional signs, and also, as Joyce mentioned, to put out the warning sign on the block.
Yeah, and also more so on the Avenue of Eagles, because the kids cross there too,
Okay.
right? So that crosswalk especially needs
Okay.
That's the number one. We talk about that each time. You can ask Board Member Virginia White. She brings that up at every meeting that we have.
I
Yes,
think
she
we
does.
approved to restripe that with that special striping, correct? John?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, just don't want it to,
No, I don't want you to think that we're not working on it, because we are working on it. And government is a little slower than I would like it to be, but we're working on it. Yes.
And feel free to follow up through Joyce or Council President, whoever you choose.
Yeah.
And no problem. Thank you for coming. The gentleman, you guys in the back, you raised your hand before for a while, please. You got to put your name on the list, Christo. Made it, just as anonymous. Nope. Yeah, I'm sorry, your name and address, please?
Rashid Khan, 20 Rolling Brook Drive.
Sure, you're recognized, you have the floor.
Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to speak. Somebody mentioned Thomas Edison's name, and we were just talking about progressive towns and all. And when we talk about Thomas Edison, what comes to mind? Innovation, technology, and not just any technology, disruptive technology. But what are we doing? I was just appalled. I was looking at it, we are talking about LED light bulb, right? And we are talking about Thomas Edison and progressive town. The Wi-Fi, the internet sucks in this town. Internet, there are no options. It's just optimum. And you know how the things have changed in the last couple of years. Many people are working from home. In one home, you may have 3 people, 4 people, working, and they are actively working. Everybody is using Wi-Fi. And in this town, in the last so many years also, we haven't seen any change in technology. And we are talking about progressive towns, and we were just talking about blinking lights. And just blinking lights is considered to be a progressive town. What are we doing to, do justification to this town that, we are using the name of Thomas Edison? Are we really getting there? Are we really changing anything? Really, are we changing anything technology-wise to make it a town, which will be apart from any other town? I mean, that's just one of my observations that I wanted to put forward. Thank you.
Council
Thank
President?
you, yes. Councilman Brescher, you're on the cable committee. Do you have comments on that?
Well, yeah, well, there were a couple of things. I know that the mayor was looking into municipal broadband of some kind, whether it's done by the municipality or bringing someone else in. There's somebody that's put a survey out, right? And they're supposed to get us some data as to what's important to everybody. Because like my son does programming, right? For him, he cares about speeds. I really don't care about speed. All I care is that when I put on my Netflix, right, it plays. When I put on my YouTube, it plays. That's all I care. And then there's the 5G that's coming out. When I say it's coming out, it's already here. I think there's some people on the council that might already have it. But every time I go to sign up, it's not available. Because I wanted to get the T-Mobile 5G for my home, but I can't get it. To then find out that what happens is there's limited resources to this 5G at this current time. So maybe they can only service 1,000 people, and next month it'll be an extra 100. So you have to check like every day, I think it is. I think Mr. Patil was telling me about this because I was frustrated that I couldn't sign up. So we are moving in that direction, and it's not by the township standard, it's by the industry itself. I told people that I didn't realize that I use my cell phone as a hotspot, and I use it on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday when I go down to the boat, so I could watch Netflix, YouTube, and that kind of stuff. There's no internet down there, so that's what I use. And like I said, for the people with IT, it's different because from what I understand, they need 1 gig or they need more upload speed or whatever it is. I'm not uploading really anything. I'm uploading an order to Amazon or something. I don't know.
And more IT people are working from home. Correct. It makes sense.
And that was something that we had a meeting with Optimum, and they struggle with that because of COVID. What happened during COVID was they didn't have enough, I'm going to say broadband.
Right.
I'm looking at Mr. Patil all the time because he's probably the expert in this. Maybe
they didn't have the bandwidth. The schools are not
Yep,
equipped.
I can do, Council President.
Sure.
Yeah, during the pandemic, entire school system, all the students were working from home, all the IT professional, pretty much I would say 90-95% folks were working from home. That caused the bandwidth issue that Optimum did not size in terms of the feasibility. and several several routers were failed when there was much more stress, and they struggled balancing. So we had the meeting with Optimum, and in fact, we got one assurance that if there is an issue with the customer service, the quality, in fact, you can send us an email. We have the direct point of contact with Optimum, and we'll be more than happy to coordinate. In terms of the competition, in fact, the Councilman Brescher said, I did get the T-Mobile 5G connection at my home. I tried it, and I'm not saying that people should use it. I don't want to, market any specific brand here. But I think as the time is going, there are many companies coming up. Verizon is rolling out 5G Wi-Fi internet. T-Mobile has rolled out, I would say, a greater portion of Edison. I'm in the north end, so I did get that one. Optimum is, rolling out the fiber cables. I did see that, several sections of the north end, they roll the fiber optics cable. But answering your question, if there is anything around customer service, quality, billing, please reach out to us. We are there to help you.
Sure. I mean, even before pandemic, Optima wasn't great.
Correct.
So, so that doesn't change much. My point being, we really need to think out of the box. Because of these changes, we may think that these are temporary, but these are not.
Correct.
These are permanent changes.
Yep.
And
Council President, speaker's time.
Time's up. Sir,
He
sir,
did
just-
take, I did take his couple of minutes, so I think you let him finish. Because I did take his couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Councilman. Appreciate it. So the point being, we have great minds in this room, and I'm really glad to see that. And I'm pretty sure if you guys sit down together, brainstorm it, and see what out-of-box solution you can come up with. It doesn't have to be, give license to another company, they come into the town, or lay down the fiber optic line and all. These are only temporary solutions. I would say, do justification to Thomas Edison, think out of the box, think big, and just make it, something that, every other township can think about later on and copy us. Thank you.
Council
Sir,
President?
no, please, we have to stop. We're going too far into this subject, and we can need to reserve our comments at the end. Sir,
Council
could you
President, I
just
just
leave?
want to make one thing, that if you can leave his name, address, and
Yeah,
we can add him in the cable vision committee.
Council
Can I
President,
just- Excuse me, can we
I
just
just
have
want you to
control
come
of the
on the
meeting right now?
19th.
I'm sorry, you don't have the floor.
Yeah.
Can we please just have control of the meeting? He's finished. Can you please leave your name with the clerk? We can get back to you. I'll have the committee speak to you offline. You can have a full communication on that. Council Vice President, you have the floor. What do you want to say?
Yes, sir, I know your concern, and I would like you to be, if it's possible, to be here on October 19th for the master plan, because then we can develop different groups, and you can probably head up an IT group, because I know for sure in the state of New Jersey, 80% of your schools don't have the proper bandwidth right now. And that's where we have a problem, even with the schools and with the structure of all the buildings is very old. But I would like you to be here on October 19th, right inside this room here, so we can get good information from you. Thank you.
And just, council members, just in lieu of time, and for those who are listening to the meeting, if you can allow a courtesy to wait to the end, we'll answer questions, so each member of the public can have their full 6 minutes uninterrupted, and at the end of the meeting, we'll close the public portion, and we can answer all these questions individually, just in lieu of time and for those who are listening. Thank you. Mr. Cristo.
Thank you for recognizing me. Cristo, Edison, New Jersey.
You're recognized. You have the floor.
Thank you. I would like to speak on the political and cultural influences on children. Demi Lovato never chopped off her breasts. Demi Lovato never underwent some crazy surgery. Demi Lovato never went on cross-sex hormones or taking a lot of testosterone or anything like that. Demi Lovato didn't stop her puberty and permanently destroy her biochemistry and give herself osteoporosis at age 9, like is happening right now to a lot of kids. A lot of kids are being brainwashed in some stupid social craze called transgenderism that Demi Lovato was also brainwashed with, and Demi Lovato will face 0 consequences from it. It was just a funny little PR stunt for her. For the kids who are looking up to her, and more importantly, looking to the people who have more cultural and political influence than her, looking to the public health officials that are pushing this on the kids, looking at Big Pharma that continue to peddle this to the little kids, those kids are not going to get out so easy. Through the chair to Councilman Brescher, you know, you were a Board of Ed member, you know, and I'll speak to Margot too.
Just direct your questions to the council
I
president.
did, through the chair to them. So here we're abusing kids. We're abusing kids because you don't tell them the truth about reality. You're redefining what reality is. You lie to these kids and tell them that there's more genders than there are nations here on earth. The same people that tell us to trust the science during the COVID-19 pandemic are the same people who don't trust the science that there are two genders, male and female. I'm speaking to you because we need to come to every local town council meeting, every local BOE meetings, and we need to let you Democratic officials know, stop pushing this on the kids, because you are. Governor Murphy's pushing this on the kids. Recently, his LGBTQ curriculum is being shoved down kids' throats now. I have no problem. A child can grow up and decide whatever they'd like to be, but I do have a problem when we're pushing ideologies, far left radical ideologies to the children and pretending it's normal. Like I mentioned to Margot, she knows in the 70s, the American Psychiatric Association called this mental illness. She can confirm that. She knows this. Yet, why are we normalizing mental illness? And then when a lot of these kids go out and they commit suicide, you know, who's really to blame? I blame you guys. I blame the politicians. I blame Hollywood. How much time do I have left?
3 minutes.
3 minutes? Okay. I like to say you guys announced there was a human relations meeting yesterday. I don't believe there was ever a human relations meeting yesterday. Are we ever going to put a Muslim person on the Human Relations Committee? Joyce, would you like to ask that young gentleman over there his name? Maybe you can put him on the Human Relations Committee so he can defend his people's interests? No? Okay. So yeah, this is what I want to waste my time on today. I want to talk about children. I want to talk about how you, the adults, have failed the children. And that's pretty much it.
Thank you, Chris.
No, I'm not done yet. So, you know, a lot of these, now, through the chair to Nish Patel, he was a pharmacist. You should know a lot of these pills that are given to the kids, the Lupon. You give this to sexual predators, child predators. Why are you all of a sudden just okaying and giving medication that you
Direct
give
your
to,
questions to the chair.
I am. I said through the chair to him. Why are you guys giving medications that are specifically for child predators, but you're now giving it to young boys to stop their puberty? If you as a pharmacist, would you give those medications up to the kids? Do you have a problem with giving those medications? You can answer that later. But he's going to say no. He's going to say if it was prescribed to them, that he would give it. But he's the problem. This is exactly what the problem is. People like him are educated enough to know it's child abuse, yet they continue the child abuse because all of a sudden you guys turned it into legalized child abuse. And when normal people come up to say, hey, stop sexualizing the children, we're the ones being yelled at. That's why I don't support Brian Rivera being put on the Human Relations Committee.
45 seconds left.
Marlene, is that true? Oh, I don't support Brian Rivera to be on the Human Relations Committee. He did not want parents to call in and complain about the anal sex curriculum. In fact, he said he was telling parents...
30 seconds left.
It's okay for you and the teachers to teach anal sex to young children, elementary school, middle school, yet when adults come to an adult meeting and say, hey, stop sexualizing the children...
Yeah, 15 seconds left.
turn us in... Why do you care how much sex? Why don't you just let me speak? Is something I'm saying bothering you?
I'm just doing offering you a courtesy of your time.
Joe the florist, is something I'm saying bothering you? Does it bother you that I come up here and promote human decency, promote...
Your time is up.
Speaker's time has elapsed, Council
Thank you,
President.
Mr. Christo. You did a great job. And the gentleman in the back, left-hand corner.
Hi, Mohammed Yusuf Ahmed, 8 Mile Road, Edison, New Jersey.
You recognize you have the floor.
All right, I just want to first thank you guys. At the last meeting I was here, I want to thank you guys for condemning like the horrible actions that happened in the parade. Thank you guys for that. It really he's getting like peace of mind. But thankfully, I guess I don't want to talk about that anymore. So since I'm here, anyways, I decided like the schools are overcrowded. You guys know this, right? And before it was kind of like a joke, even between us. It was like JP's overcrowded. How we can't get to the halls, right? But this year it's actually like impossible. Like today, I was stuck in a jam that was not moving at all. This is like a car. It's like it felt like a car jam. With human bodies, we could not move. It was horrible. Like we were pushing each other to get through. Okay, the physical contact was like insane. All right, we were pushing each other to get through that jam. Right. So I was just thinking, like I don't really know if this is like the right place to ask it. But, like, are we looking into building another high school like in North Edison? Because it was so bad.
Your questions are great, and we're all supportive of this, but these questions would go to the Board of Ed. And we can give you a list of those questions. You can continue, but you have time.
Yeah,
to
no,
sort-
I'm good. I just
We
wanted
couldn't
to
answer
point
that,
out.
but
Yeah, I'm
many
just trying-
people agree with the overcrowding.
Yeah, I'm just trying to. I just want to put that out there.
But
I'm
now-
trying to go to sleep now.
And where's your friend? You came with someone else last time.
No, I told them to stay home because actually the reason why we're here is because they're trying to like come back and make a rebuttal, and they're like they realize you guys are also smart in that, so they're like I forget about it. We're gonna stay home.
But by all means, we can put you in touch with some people with the Board of Ed. You raise some good points, and you're there every day, so you know best.
Thank you.
Okay? Thank you. Yes.
Hello, Joel Bassoff, 17 Beach Lane, Edison.
You're welcome.
Well,
Recognize you have the floor.
Thank you. Well, since the subject of flowers on Amboy Avenue came up, I just want to say a few years ago it was the flower walk that actually kind of introduced me to Amboy Avenue and what's there. While there, though, I was thinking it's not really the flowers that'll bring me back. What I kept coming back for was the music, the food specials at Ruby K or from the coffee house. So that's something to consider. If you really want to turn it into a downtown, it seems like it's events that involve music and food that really keep people coming back. There's a lot of potential there. But that's not actually what I came here for. I wanted to follow up on what Mrs. Jordan said about a municipal public advocate. There are a lot of land use issues that are cascading in Edison. I will assiduously avoid any comment on the specifics of the Charlie Brown site, but you know that that's coming up. But there's also a case involving a huge illuminated sign near Durham Avenue on 287. That's something where the zoning board denied the variance for the sign. The sign company was able to have that overturned on appeal, and probably the main reason for that is that the residents offered personal opinions, but they didn't have anyone with expertise in land use law that really could have helped them put together an effective case. And as a result, the township is still going to be facing the expense of an appeal, because I understand that the zoning board has decided to appeal the law division's denial. And we're going to have other issues like that. When you look at what happens in Silver Lake, if the township hadn't stepped in to offer to buy that property as public open space, who knows what we could have ended up with there. And the only thing that slowed it down was that there were a few residents that threw themselves into that matter and were willing to hire a lawyer. With the Charlie Brown case, residents were willing to hire some expert witnesses. But not every neighborhood has the ability or the resources to do that. And unless Edison joins the ranks of municipalities that establish the position of a municipal public advocate, it's possible that the improper overdevelopment will take place in the parts of town where the people are the least equipped to advocate for their own rights. I just did a little bit of research before I came here, and already such municipalities as Paramus, Oradell, Fair Lawn, and West Orange have municipal public advocates. Bergen County has a public advocate, and there is a model municipal ordinance out there that Edison could use as a resource. So I'd reiterate and urge the council to seriously consider the establishment of a municipal public advocate. Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Councilman Brusher, do you mind, as a courtesy, to wait to the end? Only because we're doing a lot of back and forth.
To let each of the individuals finish speaking, and then we can answer their.
I was asking for a courtesy, only just in lieu of time. We did about 15 minutes on the cable, and we have a large crowd on the left. I'm wondering, just to get them up here, and I want to get them through the meeting. We're at 8:30.
I would, as long as we have people watching, I'd like to do it now. I don't want to wait.
I'm asking for a courtesy. If you choose to override my request, by all means, go ahead.
Yeah, on this one.
You have the floor.
I've heard about this, but I have a question to the attorney. The attorney did give us his legal opinion on it, and I do understand where you're, basically if we get a public advocate and the public advocate isn't advocating for the public, but he's advocating for the builders, right? It does us no good, so it's a waste of money. But I have to say, sitting up here on this dais and seeing that we spend $100,000 a year on flowers, and then we spend $100,000 a year on social media or sending out flyers to the residents to say, like, look what we're doing, right? With all of that wasted money, in the public's eyes, the ones that have been coming up and advocating for the public advocate, because no one's ever came to me and said, hey, can we put out flyers or can we do press releases? No one's ever asked me for that, but we spent the $100,000 or something to do that. Can this council authorize a public advocate? And that's a question to the attorney. Or is that something that is strictly by the mayor's office? Because if we have that, I would like to say I'm in favor of it. And the next question would be for somebody from the public to come up and ask the council members.
If I understand your question, you're saying, can the council create the position without any oversight by the mayor and administration? Is that your, I'm sorry, I just wanted to make sure I clearly understand your question.
Could the council create an ordinance to create this position? It would be, I believe, up to the mayor to fill the position, right? Or it would actually be up to your firm, I believe, because it would go through legal, right?
That's correct. I mean, any position would likely go through some sort of qualifications process.
Okay.
If it was created. And only the administration can do something like that, can set out qualifications necessary for the filling of that position. That's an administrative function.
Right, but this council could create that.
Correct, subject to the legal limitations that I offered in my memo.
Right.
About the problems that it creates. That would be an action of council, right, not the administration. To
Okay.
create that position. That's correct.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Then I'd like to state for the record that I'm all in favor of a public advocate. I think we wholeheartedly need one. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Brusher.
Council President, at the end, can I just make a comment in regards to the topic?
Sure, absolutely. I'll keep it open. Thank you. Anybody else from the public? Yes, sir.
Good evening, President and council members. Naushir Ahmed, 8 Maida Road, Edison, New Jersey.
You recognize you have the floor.
Thank you. Thank you for you guys took action against what happened on 14th of August. Thank you for condemning. And I believe your action really worked because there another person who was coming to speak against, to spread hate. At least she was in Atlanta. There she was protested. And when they find out that Edison Township has condemned, I believe they didn't want to come on purpose. Normally they come in Edison. They end up going to Ridgewood, and they have rented the church, where the church was, church administration were educated by people that what they're doing it, and they canceled it. They said it was disturbing. So thank you again for condemning. And I just want to know what are you guys planning for future for India Day Parade to to make sure that nothing goes on, which really hurts community. Second thing, I really feel bad for our citizen, for who are around Amazon. I was here for last 2 meetings and the third one, and everybody really seems like they are really going through the pain of dealing with the traffic and noise. My first house in Edison was on neighborhood street, actually main street, we call, and even the car was going at 4 a.m. in the morning, I can hear them, and probably even though you're not wake up, your brain wakes up. So I understand their pain, that what they go through. And now I'm on Tertiary Street, and I feel the difference. So really, if you guys can help them out, that'll be really helpful to take care of the traffic there. It's really bad situation. Also, like my son said, his school is getting overcrowded, and unfortunately, they cannot walk through safely, and they're pushing each other. That's not the right thing. Maybe education board, you should contact education board to look into that, see what they can do for that. And just would like to hear what you guys have decided about the future parade. Thank you.
Before you go down, did you have a street that you want patrol on? Or
not
you
me,
recognize the gentleman who spoke before?
It was not me.
Yeah.
It was not me. For petrol, no.
Okay, I thought you wanted speeding issue on streets.
No, there's somebody else was there.
Okay, no problem, just making sure, okay. Okay, not a problem, thank you. Okay, okay, no problem. Yes, please come on.
Hello all.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam. My name is Halimunisa. Do I have the floor?
They recognize you have the floor.
Thank you. So I'll be just talking about one thing. Others already covered everything that I wanted to talk about. Thank you for issuing a condemnation earlier this month of the IBA's hate parade at the Edison India Day Parade, as it has come to be known popularly, which should not have happened. The inclusion of a bulldozer and an invitation to one of the most hateful extremists in India's government at the parade is not a positive, tolerant values espoused by the late Mahatma Gandhi. I'm a big fan of Mahatma Gandhi. That's why these words. While the IBA has issued an official apology for their offensive actions of using the bulldozer at the parade to the Indian diaspora, especially the Muslim community, we feel as the council of the town, we had a couple of asks last time. I don't know what you guys have decided on that. The first one we had was establish and create a community relations advisory board that reflects the diversity of the residents in the municipality. And our second ask was establish and create a diversity, equity, and inclusion committee that reflects the diversity of residents in the municipality, a committee of local residents from different faith-based communities in India that includes lower caste Hindus, upper caste Hindus, Muslims, Christians, Dalits, Sikhs, because we have a very diverse Indian community in Edison. And the third one was to enact a policy to ensure no such incidents of hate are repeated in the township of Edison, create a safety action plan which includes surveying residents on their safety concerns and an action plan on hate groups, reporting of bias incidents, holding community leadership events to address hate, etc. And also allow for bias and sensitivity training for all of the Edison staff and council members at the very earliest. So these were the couple of asks that we had last time. I don't know what the council has decided about this, because we need some sort of difference between the parade we had this year to the parade we'll be having next year. We understand that there is 10-year permit. Is there any action that's taken to revoke that permit? Are there any policy changes and are the process changes that were made? We just want those answers.
At the end of the meeting, we'll answer your questions. You can continue. You still have time to speak.
Yep, that's it. This is we came in, a lot of people had a concern last time. I thought this is the thing I should be raising this time also, so that we see some sort of progress. Right? Thank you so much, folks. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. You raised a good point. Any other members of the public?
Council President?
Yes, Council.
Can I make the remark here? Again, this is a wonderful idea. On the last council meeting, I said that the process is something, the permitting process is up to the mayors and administration, but this council can create the oversight committee that will have everybody, all inclusive, who probably will take a glance saying what's happening, probably would be helpful. Again, this is my suggestion. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. Any other members of the public? Any comments? Ms. Jordan, do you have a rebuttal? Did you speak yet at this end of the meeting at all? It's your first time speaking. I'm sorry.
Yes, it is. I
I'm
just
sorry. I
spoke at
apologize.
resolutions. I'll be brief. Lori Jordan, 10 Gulf Road.
You recognize you have the floor.
Thank you. So you had shared about when someone was talking about the beautification, you had said, we're the 5th largest township in New Jersey, and as a point of pride, as it should be. It's out of 500 townships and municipalities in New Jersey, being the 5th largest is pretty amazing, which dovetails into the public advocacy to say we're such a large and diverse township that would be such a valuable position. And it sounds like maybe we're getting a little traction with that, or is this an end of the meeting kind of conversation about what next steps might be to see how we can start possibly towards having one?
I'm going to wait to the end. We're going to answer your
okay.
questions at the end,
All right.
at the end of the meeting, but
Okay.
You raise a good point, and I think there's members that have some comments. Just in lieu of time, we're just waiting. at the
Okay,
end
sure,
for
sure. Yeah, because at one point, some of us were talking about like interviewing public advocates from other townships to say, hey, what are you doing? And, kind of making a project to bring on a silver platter to you to say, hey, look at all this good stuff that they're answering and stuff. But that's a time, it would be interesting, but time consuming. But so if I'll hear what you have to say at the end there. And then just another question about the October, this is just, I guess, a general question for the lawyer. For the October 12th vote on the zoning of Charlie Brown's, can you just give a high level, like what can we in the residents in the audience expect? Is there going to be conversation about it, or is it going to be a straight ahead vote? Or I'm just kind of curious of what shape that takes. Is it something that's 5 minutes, 50 minutes, or is there debate or anything like that? Is there?
From what you can correct me. From what I've been told by Mr. Ranone, this is an opportunity for both sides to make their argument. There's no public session, there's no public comments, and prior to this, and we've held this weeks in advance, each council member will get a packet of all the information of every meeting. And we're asking them also to go online to listen to this meeting as well. And then the council will make a decision after that. We're allowing a certain amount of time for each of them to speak. I haven't identified that time, but I think it's somewhere between 12 and 15 minutes, if I had to guess.
So the applicant will be here?
The applicant will be here. Well, I can't answer for that, but their attorney will be here.
Right,
I
okay.
assume the applicant will
applicant's
come,
attorney.
and the attorney for the appeal.
Okay. Attorney for the appeal. Okay.
And I'm sorry to interrupt you, but.
Just a big picture, just all that was looking for. Okay, just a couple more quick things. Just to talk about Wi-Fi. I work from home. I'm on my computer all day long, and the last month, my internet goes out 4 to 6 times a day. In the middle of projects, in the middle of phone calls, just drops like a stone. That's a new thing that's been happening. That's very disruptive, and I'm sure our house is not the only one affected by that. And then just 2 quick questions about these the resolutions about collision repairs, 600 and 601, where it's 120K and 90K for collision repairs. Are these actually repairs, or is this a thing that's being bought, like in case there are repairs we're prepaying?
Laura, did you want to comment?
Sure. That is actually, most of it's like if police cars get in accidents or our own cars get in accidents, that's a repair. But most of it is through our insurance company. But, it's insurance cases, but we have to actually have someone to take it to. So I bid that out, and that's the award of it.
Holy moly. It's a lot of fender benders.
That's just, that's the not to exceed. That's meaning if, we get this information from police and if a garbage truck gets in an accident, that can be quite expensive.
Sure.
So, we have to do the highest that we think it could be, so we have to word it, so those are just not to exceed amounts.
Okay, gotcha. All right. And just one last quick question. On the automated license plate reading system, 602, is that for the police?
Yes. Yes, it is.
And where do they use that automatic license plate
They
reading?
actually have them, if I'm not mistaken, they have them on their police cars, and they just automatically, read the other license plates as they drive, and it goes to software, and if anything's flagged, if there's a license plate of a stolen vehicle, it will read it.
Oh, okay, so much money for police and fire. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Fagan?
Thank you, Council President. Nick Fagan, 42 Edgewood Road, not Circle.
You recognize you have the floor.
Thank you, sir. I was calling on another topic of great importance in the town of Silver Lake. And I believe that, and I may be wrong, but bear with me. I believe that about 90 days ago, Mr. Ron Leffler asked how we were doing and when that process would be closed. And Mr. Ranone said about 90 days. So we're about there, I think. We might be 60, but I might be a little early. But I was looking, Mr. Chair, for an update from the attorney or the BA or whoever's involved in that case on how we're going on doing the Silver Lake property and being finished with that case, because right now there's no deal. We celebrated back in January or February, but there's still no deal. So I'd like to know what's going on with Silver Lake.
We'll answer at the end.
Okay. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments, sir? You had.
Good evening. My name is Asif Gandhi, 14 High Point Drive, Edison.
You recognize you have the floor.
Thank you. I have a couple of observations. One is, as has been mentioned, a lot of people work post-COVID from home. I do too for several days. We get great weather for 4 or 5 months. We could open the windows. I do many times, and in the middle of calls, I hear like loud lawnmower noise. So one of the things that has occurred to me is, just like we have restrictions on, we have pickups scheduled, right? Like Monday for Region 4, so on. I understand we need lawnmowers, and can timings be given for certain regions? For example, like region number 1, between 8 and 10. Region number 2, between 10 and 12. So at least we know that, okay, a couple of hours a day there will be lawnmowers, but the other times will be lawnmower free or something like that. Because it'd be good to have the windows open and do the work instead of having the AC on and all the windows. So it's something the council may want to consider. I mean, we need lawnmowers. I understand that. The lawns need to look good and need to be cut, and they make noise, I understand. But it'd be good to say, okay, these 2 hours in this area, you can mow the lawn. The other 2 hours, go there, go there, go there. So, so at least we can work without, by opening the windows many times. So that's something I would like if the council can consider. So that's one observation I had. I'll wait here if there's any.
We'll answer your question. At the end, we're going to answer all these questions we have listed down once the public portion is closed.
Okay. I also, since people were talking of the internet, I also know that it seems like Verizon has 5G in at least in my area, so it's another thing to consider for people. And my final observation is, as a resident of India, as a resident of Edison, originally from India, I was in the parade. I didn't see the bulldozer, but I saw it later on. I think it's a great inclusive town. It would be good that such things going forward are not there. I appreciate the council condemning it, and it'd be good if we make sure that the parade's going forward. I understand everybody has a right to celebrate their heritage, So it'd be good if everybody is included, you know, all religions, not just religion, all regions of India. You know, I come from Gujarat, like a lot of people were at the parade. It'd be good if north, south, east, west, middle, everybody is also there, and all religions and all people, so that it reflects the diversity of India. So it'd be good that the parade has that going forward, it being inclusive and reflecting the diversity rather than having instruments of hate. And I appreciate the council condemning it, and I was glad to hear that. Made me feel better. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. You may sit down. We're going to answer questions at the very end. I apologize. Any other questions or comments from any of the members of the public? Mr. Christo? I'm sorry, I didn't see your hand. You want to go first? Go ahead. This would be this is your second time speaking, sir?
This is the second time rebuttal.
This would be a rebuttal. And
Yeah.
just to brief you on a rebuttal,
Yeah.
a rebuttal would be not a new conversation. It would be rebuttal, disagreeing with something that's been said by the public or someone here.
Yeah, just a
If you
comment.
can offer that
just on the
courtesy.
rebuttal kind of slash
It
comment
is your
here.
time. You have 3 minutes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Anwar Sayed, Dagwood Drive, Edison. Just, I think, friend of mine, I think he was concerned with sex education with the kids. Just comment as an awareness for myself and the people who are listening. There is actually a New Jersey state law in the May. It has been passed where New Jersey state law 18A35 4.7, you can look it up, I think, which allows the parents to opt out any specific sexual education that based on your belief, you're not interested in it, so people can opt. Thank you.
Okay. Any of the members of the public for comment? Mr. Christo?
Crystal, Edison, New Jersey. Elementary school kids shouldn't have.
This is your rebuttal. You have 3 minutes.
Absolutely, they shouldn't have to. Elementary school kids, they shouldn't have to opt out of anything on the simple fact that why are we teaching elementary school kids about sodomy? You understand? When I went to school, St. Matthew's, they taught you anal sex is sodomy, it's a sin. You understand? So I don't understand why parents feel the need. Everyone needs to opt out, but we shouldn't have even had to. You guys shouldn't have brought us down this road. You guys are the ones that brought us down this road with your political correctness.
Christo, this is not an appropriate rebuttal.
Yeah, no,
No, you're rebutting another individual. You're amplifying your earlier remarks.
No,
It has to be an appropriate rebuttal.
It is. He was talking about opting out, and I'm also talking about opting out, that we shouldn't have had
No,
to.
his was an appropriate rebuttal, yours is not.
How is mine not an appropriate rebuttal, sir?
Because you're amplifying your earlier remarks. You're not responding to what
Sure.
someone from the public
Is he
said.
correct? I disagree, but
Okay,
Pressure
all right.
says that you're correct, so,
Oh.
I mean, he has some integrity. I'll listen to him on that. That's what happens when you have integrity, Council President. People actually listen to you.
What is your rebuttal?
A lot of the community is complaining that the Human Relations Committee does not reflect the diversity of the community, so they're asking for other groups to be made, DEI.
Christo, once again, what is your rebuttal?
That is my rebuttal.
To a comment from the member of the public. That's what this section is. You're rebutting something that was said by a member of the
Did Joe
public.
Coyle put you up to this? People were
I'm-
talking about the human relations. and I
Christo, we
wanna-
have rules. We're just following the
And
rules,
I'm
that's
trying,
all.
I am following the rules. Just because you say I'm not following the rules doesn't mean I'm not following the rules. I'm clearly doing a rebuttal. I'm
Who?
I'm
To
talking
what
on-
comment are you rebutting? What
You're
comment?
just doing this to waste my three minutes.
I'm just asking you
I
a
know-
question.
I
What are you
already-
rebutting?
First, I was rebutting the opt-out, that he's talking about people can opt out.
his was
and
a
I
rebuttal.
said that we shouldn't have had to be put through that scenario to opt out. That's all I meant. It was very appropriate, and that's your opinion. We'll allow.
It's just a rule. It's a rule.
The Supreme Court has decided otherwise. You say it's inappropriate. Rosenfeld versus New Jersey says even if you're at a Board of Ed meeting with children present, you're still allowed to curse. I didn't curse. All I said is I was speaking about a subject. We're adults, okay? If you guys want to teach pervasive.
Council President, there's no rebuttal here, just so you understand. All right.
I'm
30
rebutting.
seconds.
I'm trying to do a
So
rebuttal.
you still have
and-
the floor.
Thank you. Half the rebuttal I did was against what you were saying. So how is that not a rebuttal? So people are sick and disgusting. The Human Relations Committee does not reflect the diversity of this community. There are no Muslims, there are no Roman Catholics, there are no Orthodox. Is that my time, even though you
Speaker's
used
time
it?
has elapsed, Council President.
Elapsed, that means it's over?
Time's up.
Time is up? You took all my time. You stole all
Thank you, Krista. Any other questions or comments from the public? Seeing none, can I have a motion to close the public portion?
Motion to close the public portion?
Teal, can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? The public portion is closed, and we have council comments on multiple discussions here. Who would like to go first?
I will, so I can get out the way. Are you going?
Council Vice President?
All right, okay, all right. In relations to the Human Relations Committee, because of our town being so big, I amended the ordinance for us to have more people on it than are on it already. I made it a wider swath of people. And when I rewrote it and reinstituted it for starting in 2020, we reinstituted it, and I wrote safeguards in it from which you have to be trained. You can be on the committee, but you have to be trained. I have like 5 trainers lined up. I've already spoken to the prosecutor's office, and the prosecutor's office will inherit bias crimes, and I'll be speaking to the police department, and I'll be speaking to state people for people to be trained on what is correct and what is not, because I know for in life that something that might not hurt me may hurt you. So we have to be very, very considerate of everyone's feelings. We can't do anything that would jeopardize or hurt another individual. So from this point on, other people, we're starting to actually receive applications from other communities, which I like very much. But I will make sure that everyone will get to training about bias. And once we get our committee and we get it in sync and we get it together, people from the public will be allowed to come to the meetings to gain information about what's positive and what's negative about our community of Edison, because we've had some problems, and sometimes people don't understand. Sometimes something bad happens and it produces a lot of good afterwards, because all of us have been awakened to different things that we weren't not awakened to before. So, even though it was a negative point, from this point on, we would like to move positively, and I want to make sure everyone from different communities now are sending in applications for the Human Relations Committee, because I want to make sure. And within that, we can then, from that, know what's appropriate for different parades, know what's appropriate for different holidays, knows what's appropriate to do for different things. Because, some people, I go in their house, you have to take your shoes off. Some people, you can't bring a dog here. So, it depends on, we're not going to just do religion, we're also going to do secular things too, about different groups of people, what is appropriate with their group and what is not appropriate with that group. So I look forward to us working with the state and working with the county to let us all know what bias is. And so to proceed forward with that. Thank you.
Thank you, Council Vice President.
Council President?
Councilmember Harris?
Yes. I'd like to speak about the public advocate situation. It has been brought up a lot by the residents, and I do think the residents deserve to get this ball rolling. The residents have been activists, and the Charlie Brown's residents, those particular advocates, and the Silver Lake advocates from the residents, these people have worked very, very hard and have shelled out a lot of money in order to get representation to zoning or planning. And I also think it's time that the talk from the public is followed up by some action and some study of what would be involved. But I think it's time that we really consider a public advocate. So I'd like to see what we can do in order to get more information, more numbers. But I think the public deserves this. Thank you.
Council President?
Yes, Councilman.
I just wanted to speak on for the person that was talking about the broadband internet.
Yes.
We are actually working on a broadband plan, and the main issue that we run into usually is that there's not a lot of competition, and this is throughout the whole country, simply because once a company puts in a lot of money into putting out the fiber lines, no other company wants to come in and compete with them because they're only going to lose, because they already have the infrastructure and they can always lower their prices and, beat out the competition. So the only successful transitions that has happened throughout the country, the first one was Tennessee, Chattanooga. They were the first one 10 years ago to start their own township broadband, and their speeds are around 10 gigabits per second, and it costs from $200. So it's a really good plan that they had, that they initiated 10 years ago. And if we actually voted on this earlier this year, where we started the study for the broadband, and if we do succeed and if we do implement it, we will be the first town in all of New Jersey. So we are progressive. It's just we are a 35 square mile town, and it will take a long time to complete the study and get that process done. And we are working on it, just it's going to be a bit slow, so we will have to be a bit patient. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Patel. Any other council members? Councilman Porter?
Thank you, Council President. First, in regards to the technology aspect, I did want to mention, and just as a general FYI, if people didn't hear before, we did establish a Smart City Advisory Committee, which is technology-based. So if you are interested in being part of that, please fill out an application and submit it to the clerk's office. In regards to the public advocate, I did read the appeal decision. One of the bases of what I think everyone's trying to get done is that a informative record needs to be present so that the boards can make whatever decision that they so see fit. I want to read a little bit of one of the proposed ordinance changes that is set to be heard on the 28th, which I think is going to attempt to take a crack at that. In regards to 2158, item number 1 says, the township acting through its planning board, zoning board of adjustment, and/or technical review committee shall require fees for technical and/or professional services and testimony employed to the board in reviewing an application. Number 3 says, by filing any type of application or appeal, an applicant shall consent to pay for professional review services which are reasonably necessary for the review, processing, research, and/or memorialization of such application. These services may include, but need not be limited to, an attorney, professional planner, professional engineer, traffic engineer, environmental consultant, and/or other professional as deemed reasonable and necessary by the reviewing board. I mentioned this, which I made the comment at Monday's meeting, that there are items being adjusted that I see that are going to help the boards become more effective and efficient in how they process applications. I see this as an important step. It's not final, but it's an important step to make sure that as much information can be presented to the boards so that they can make an informed decision, and so that a record can be as elaborate as possible in the event of an appeal. Because as Mr. Bassoff, you may know if you read the appeal, one of the items wasn't necessarily in regards to the lack of professional rebuttal. It was in the resolution writing in and of itself. So even if you have all your ducks lined up in a row with all the information, if the resolution in and of itself does not back that up, that creates a big problem. So I just want to put that out there, that there are a lot of steps to try to get to the objective that I think a lot of the residents and us are looking to achieve. Sorry, that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilman Porter. Other council, yes, Councilman Patil?
Council President, in fact, this public advocacy has been discussed many, many times. Every single time the big project comes in, we go through these discussions. I think we need to come to some consensus saying whether we are moving forward or not. Again, I'm fully in support of having on behalf of the taxpayers, to have someone who can represent them in the planning board and the zoning board meeting, especially for the big bang projects that's going to affect their quality of life. Again, it shouldn't be like after October hearing, again, residents have to come here and pitch in for that. Again, I think, it's a high time that this council should decide should we go forward with that or not. Again, I'm not saying there are, pluses and minuses about that, but we should all wet it down. We should talk to the residents and, take that final call. In terms of some of the speakers spoke about the parade issue, and again, I have said this in multiple times. My personal recommendation to this council is, having some sort of an oversight committee before the final approval happens to any parade in this town, that this body, which will be more of a citizens, and maybe a couple of council members can be part of that, who would go through that in its entity to make sure that no one's sentiment is heard or the things are done in a right way. Thank you, Council President.
Yes, thank you. Any other council members?
President?
Yes, Councilman Brescher?
Two things. One, when we come to that public advocate, I understand that your boards are like quasi-judicial type of boards. So that's why I'm so much in favor of the public advocate, because if you go to any court, right, there's a prosecutor and then there's somebody defending him. So you have both sides. When I've witnessed the planning board and the zoning board, what I witnessed was somebody that comes in, has very well qualified engineers and lawyers, and they present a case that sounds wonderful. And the public doesn't have those professionals at their side. And, I'll tell you this, and I go back to the Camelot. When people talk about traffic at Hoover, I watched that meeting. And typically what happens is they have a traffic study, and the traffic guy comes in and he says, listen, we're going to set this light, everything else, and everything's going to be wonderful, and traffic is going to move freely, and it's great. And everybody says this is wonderful. But with Camelot, he actually came in and said, the traffic is going to slow down. And this is good because you have children here. Well, what was good, and to slow the traffic down with the children, then became the council and the administration's problem with everybody complaining about the traffic down by Hoover. So, here you had this testimony and it was presented as being wonderful when the truth of the matter was it wasn't wonderful. And, that's where I go. I just believe that the public needs to have those professionals on their side. At the end of the day, the Planning and Zoning Board need to make their decisions like a judge would, and be fair, but being that they're hearing professional opinions from both sides. Not going to court without a lawyer, because any lawyer would tell you then you have a fool for a lawyer. So I do have that. And there was one question that came up about lawnmowers, and I just wanted to just address that because I figured no one else was going to address that one. But with setting times for lawnmowers, I think we have some kind of times for lawnmowers, not making them very specific for a day. And the problem I see with something like that is I don't work, so technically, right, I can cut my lawn whenever. But when I did work, I got back to Edison at 7 o'clock, and then I had to cut my lawn at that time. If I worked the night shift, I would have to do it during the day. So, restricting noise during the day is a difficult thing. I know Westfield did something with the blowers, leaf blowers. Thank you, Maureen. But with that,
Everybody got 3 minutes.
I'll end that there.
But
Thank
no, you can continue.
No,
I mean,
that's fine, Councilman.
We just were trying to keep some balance. But you weren't told that. Thank you, Councilor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Brescher. Any other council members that I missed? Okay, I'll just go over a few, and I'll lead off on the discussion Mr. Brescher just had with lawnmowers. I think geographically it'd be very challenging to coordinate with probably 200 different landscapers that cut grass among the region of the township, being 35 square miles. But I would believe that some members of this council would believe that we should have, be more green by 2030, and any ancillary equipment that is used, such as blowers and loud weed whackers, maybe that could be part of a start that's happened in different towns. And we give the business community a chance to acclimate their equipment, and when they buy into new equipment, hopefully it will be electric. And electric is working. I'm cutting grass with electric, my neighbors are, and it's been very successful. Next, the parade, I will agree with Councilman Patil in having some oversight there. I believe the mayor is working on that as well. And any permit goes through the mayor's office. I'm quite certain that from this experience we've had, other things will happen. But as part of that discussion that someone came up here in the back, the lady, about diversity and inclusion, I would believe that we'll leave that up to the Human Relations Committee, and as we build that committee, which is taking time, that's where a lot of those questions will be answered. I'm sorry we can't start more committees. We're having a tough time filling the ones we have, but we are doing our best to make sure we have a diverse group of people on the Human Relations Committee, but those appointments come through the mayor and trained with bias. I'm sorry, Mr. Cristo, if you disturb the meeting, I'm going to have you removed. Okay. Well, I'm going to ask you to please be quiet when I'm speaking. Okay, as I continue the internet, I'll also go with my council colleague, Councilman Patel and Patil, about that. Challenging in this town to create internet for 35 square miles and make everything perfect. I know we live in a world we want this convenience, and now today what aren't we doing? Cordless, wireless. I mean, I grew up, we had phone wires. You know, I bought the long wire I had in my house. We all had a telephone. I remember the first day I got my cordless phone, I was talking to my girlfriend outside. You know, it was a different world, and that thing was the size of a shoebox. But I think we've come a long way, and this challenge, as Mr. Patel mentioned, and Mr. Patil, that it's competitive for this to happen. But I think this committee is moving pretty good, and I think the mayor's interest in starting the cable could be the end of a new beginning here. So let's hope that that continues and moving forward. Silver Lake, if we understand, we're in a lawsuit right now with Silver Lake, so that's the challenge. I think your persistency to continue to ask is important. I'll ask Laura to reach out to the administration to make sure we note where are we in that. I'm going to expend my 3 minutes. But we missed a lot of questions I got to answer here, and people are waiting. And so let's find out where we are with that and what the middle ground is. I'm certain we're moving forward with that purchase. If there's an interruption with the other property, I can see that being an issue, but no question, the funds are there, it's going to happen. And thank you for what you did to save Silver Lake. What did I miss in here? The policy, I think I have everything in here. And the advocate, that was addressed here with the council members, and we'll see where the mayor stands with that. I find it challenging where the advocate would, I know where it would help, but I also am curious, I have a lot of questions about it, and I think we should have some review committee to discuss that, because who defines which project you defend? You know, and and where are we investing? Because the cost will be on the township. I have to speak to Mr. Pointer later on his review, but from what I understand, do you want to say something?
That's correct, Council President. There's a court case that says specifically that the cost must be borne by the township. It cannot be borne by the applicant.
And I recognize the hard work all you've done. I mean, it's absolutely amazing, the time and effort you put in away from your families to be here. Still today, Nick is still here, Lori is still here. I mean, we get it. I just don't, there'd be a lot of questions to be answered and how the language would be to put this together. But certainly something the mayor should review in this council. That's all I have. Did I miss any questions? Have we covered everything? Okay, any other council members?
Council President?
Yes.
I'd like to propose a resolution that we sing happy birthday to Councilman Nish
Oh, I'm sorry, you know
Patel.
something, I'm so glad you did.
Happy birthday.
Council, I was going to be yelled at by someone if I forgot. Councilmember Patel, happy birthday. It's your 26th birthday, is that true?
21.
So we'll start off, and I know our karaoke singer will start off with happy birthday.
All right, ready?
Yep.
Happy birthday to, well, come on, you guys. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Nish. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Birthday.
All right, can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion to adjourn.
Councilman Patil, can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned.